Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm sitting outside here. It was sunny just a few minutes ago and now everything has clouded right over. It was pretty warm yesterday and today it's up to 14 degrees Celsius today, which means all the snow is pretty much gone. I'm going to show you what the backyard looks like. Look at that. Now remember that picture because we're supposed to be getting more snow on Wednesday. It's it's going to go from 14 above to 2 or 3 or 4 below, and we'll get some snow. I know it's not going to last long, but it's just like every time spring seems to come, it's just fooling us, and we get some more snow. This topic that I'm going to touch on today, that I'm going to speak about today, is going to be about the path I've taken, the resets that I've faced, and what it means to keep moving forward, especially now in midlife. I know many of you are in your 50s. Some of you might be younger than that. I'm in my 60s. I'm 65. And when you reset, you're always looking, you always have a goal of moving forward with something with your reset. So we're going to go from there. I'm Debbie. Welcome back to Writing Life's Next Chapter. And I guess we'll just keep going from there. Writing Life's Next Chapter is about documenting not only my own journey, but also about helping others with their navigation of their own next chapter. At 65, I've had several resets. Oh my goodness. At 21 years old, I was working my dream job. I went to college for 2 years and studied equine studies, so everything about horses for 2 years. And that was my dream job. I loved horses. I was a young woman, and a lot of young women love horses. And I was good. I was good at it. I wasn't the best, but I certainly was good. And right out of college, I got my dream job. I was working with some standardbred racehorses. The barn had to lay me off because they were closing down. They were getting older and weren't having as many horses in the business, but they helped me find a job in southern Ontario with a barn that was being very successful. And I was learning so much there, and it was so wonderful, and I loved it. I couldn't wait to get up at 5 in the morning, or sometimes before 5 in the morning, so I could be at the barns for 6. Uh, it was great. It gave me such energy and motivation every day. And then one day, as I was working with one of the horses, this was a stud horse, a young stallion. And these people did not believe in tying up their horses when you were grooming them. That's not an uncommon practice, especially in the racing world, that the horse is loose in the box stall. And being a young stallion, he he was a little bit high on his testosterone, and he turned around one day, and as I was brushing him, he kicked me, and he got me in the chest. And I was close enough to them that he not only did he kick me in the chest, he kicked me and then threw me up against a wall and pinned me there. And the result of that was that my floating ribs on my right side became dislocated. And once your ribs are dislocated, they dislocate again easier and easier. And I'm going to have to move in because it's starting to rain. I'll be right back. So that company grew and I did very well there. But my marriage started dissolving. It wasn't working. It was abusive. And after my daughter was born, she was 7 days old, I left my ex with the children and moved away from the area where we were living. And in doing so, I became a single mom, a single parent. And I had to decide, I had to decide to change my course. And my children were my motivation back then, and thank God for them, because I don't know where I'd be if I had not been motivated to do something with my life because of my children. I could not just let life force me into something that I didn't fit into or want. So I ended up trying out a job at a greenhouse, and that didn't work out because then the greenhouse closed for a while because they were building a new greenhouse and over the winter months. So I had to find something else again. I started doing childcare at home. My um, my daughter has something called trisomy X, and in order for her to thrive, she needed a home environment that was stable. And as a single mom, there's not too many options for giving a stable home life. But there was if I did childcare at home. So she grew up with me at home. Once she started to school, then I ended up dropping the childcare and I started doing house cleaning because it was paying better. At that time, there were things changing with the schools, the buses, and I was getting less and less children, which was expected and forecasted with all these changes for all the daycare providers, the child care providers. So I did house cleaning. And with that, I was able to get my children off to school in the morning, and I was able to be there for them when they came home in the afternoon, still providing that stable home life that my children needed, that my daughter specifically needed. Um, and from there, I ended up going to a call center. My knees were starting to hurt. My back was starting to hurt too much. I was in my 50s by this time, my mid 50s, I guess. And I needed something that was not going to hurt so much. So I ended up working for a call center. And that definitely had its ups and downs. You want to talk about a stressful job? Yeah, you can talk about your doctors and your nurses and that, but you better put call center employees on there too, because there's nothing like having people yell at you and threaten you for something that you can't resolve, but they think you can. After a while, it gets to you, and after a while, it got to me, and I found another position working as an office administrator, and I was tickled pink about that. Now, I wasn't making as much because it was a part-time position, but then some other position came up, an executive administrator position became available. I was recommended for the job and hired there. And between the two jobs, I made more than what I did at the call center, and I was enjoying it quite a bit. Um, so it did eventually work out for me, but I had to be open to trying all these different things until I found something where I fit, where I enjoyed it. And that's what we all have to do sometimes, isn't it? We have to remember that resetting isn't failure. It's choosing a better path, even if you're the one that's still paving that path. And we all need, yes, I'm cheating. I've got a few notes. We all need a path, and hopefully a clear path. Um, in in this transformation with all these jobs that I just told you about, I changed. I found myself with a different mindset. I didn't think I could work at a call center. The company that we were working for worked with cell phones, with cell phone lines, cell phone services, cell phone products, mobile phones. And at that time, I did not own a mobile phone. So I was on a big learning curve, learning all about mobile phones and then doing the call center stuff as well, where they also expected us to have sales, of course. And I was not much of a salesperson, but I pushed myself. I decided to try different things, not to be afraid. to break the mold of what I thought others thought of me. Now, because I actually moved closer to my family. So my family knew my old me. And they did not know the new me, or the me that was the office administrator down in southern Ontario, that had all these responsibilities and signing authority on the bank account and all that. They did not know that part of me. Uh, so when I came back to this area, is where I moved with the children. People knew the old me and expected me not to have changed. They expected me to still be the old me, and that dragged me down for a little while. That dragged me down, but I had to force myself, because I had my children to look after. Right, I'm a single mom, and I had to force myself to break that mold of what I thought others thought I should be. And I had to learn to say no, my calendar, so that my calendar would no longer be overbooked, because now I had two children to raise, and I had to find ways of making an income to support them and myself. And learning no as a people pleaser was not the easiest thing to do. So when you start something new, when you start a reset, there is uncertainty as to where it may lead. And it's a little scary. It's fear of the unknown is what it is. You have your expectations, but you don't necessarily know deep in your heart, deep inside, that this is something that could take place. Uh, there, I've learned to embrace that, to use the energy from that to help me move forward, to move boldly. And if I'm not successful at what I'm attempting, to at least learn from the experience, and like starting a YouTube channel. I did a little dance a little while ago when I saw that I had my first viewer. And it was so silly, but I have a viewer. I have a viewer. Woo. I have no idea who it is. No idea, because I haven't told very many people at all that I'm doing this. So who knows who it is, but thank you. Thank you very much. And with this YouTube channel, I know I'm not going to be rich from this. But my hope in starting the YouTube channel, my goal is so that we can find a community of others, of like-minded people who can lift each other up and encourage each other as we learn to reset where we're at to get to where we're going to go. And we can share experiences, tips, and we can encourage one another. I'm growing. I've learned how to publish a book on Amazon KDP. I have a few books there now. I think there's 8 books there right now, and I'm working on a 9th. I'm moving forwards with some health goals. I might have told you in a previous video that I'm trying out the carnivore diet because it doesn't leave me hungry. The things that I'm finding with the carnivore diet is that it has helped my blood pressure quite a bit. It's helped some other things. It's helped me lose a little bit of weight. I'd like to lose more. I have a goal of losing more than what I have. I've lost 9 pounds. It was 10 pounds and it went back up. But it's hard to stick to when you're traveling places. I went to Toronto to a speaking engagement there. Not me speaking, somebody else speaking. And I've been to Ottawa a couple of times. And anytime we're in the city like that, we always get special treats. So that kicked me off the carnivore diet and I had to restart. Let me tell you something, it's not fun when you have to, when you go off your carnivore diet, because it can really mess you up. Your system has gotten used to eating certain things, and then you go and put cookies and donuts and stuff in there, and then yeah, your system tells you no. Let me see. I know that if I can move forward at 65, you can too. You can too. It's attainable for everybody and anybody. All right. And just you do it in baby steps. Okay. Transformation is not about speed and not about getting things done fast. It's about an alignment of your values, your new visions of yourself and your life, and then taking action. So it's an alignment of values, vision, and action. And we can always work on the best version of us. Um, I live a lot more simple. I had a house, I sold my house, and moved into a much smaller home, a 2-bedroom apartment. And then from there, I sold all my belongings and went to Mexico. And I was in Mexico for the better part of 3.5 years. And that has taught me to live out of a suitcase. So simpler living to me right now means that if it doesn't fit in my suitcase, I can't buy it because there's just no room for it in my life. And there's also a weight thing there too, obviously. I can't go and buy a cast iron frying pan and carry it around in my suitcase. That's just going to be overloading the weigh skills and charging me. That was a bold decision, leaving Canada, and it was one of my best decisions. It was so wonderful. When I lived in Mexico, I wasn't living on the beach very much. It was only near the end that I lived in a couple of beach communities doing some house sitting. Mostly I lived in the mountains, and that was wonderful. You get to see so much of Mexico and meet so many different people, and the Mexicans are so friendly. Uh, Creating content, starting a YouTube channel, that was a bold decision of mine too. And creating content is something that I have to work at all the time. I've learned to listen to my intuition. And of course, intuition can be built on your experience. At 65, you have a lot more intuition than you did when you were 20. Just because of the experiences that you've had along the way, you pick up little nuances. Listen to your intuition. Listen to that. And then I have an alter ego, my alter ego, Roxy. Roxy helps me with my mindset. When I get myself in a situation and I find myself holding myself back, pausing, I often have to stop and think, what would Roxy do? Now, this is not me faking it until you make it, okay? This is my alter ego, the person that I want to be more like. What would she do so that I can take on those characteristics and solve things? And I know that kind of sounds like fake it till you make it, but it's not. It's you growing. It's me growing with Roxy in my sights. So you want to stay focused, even when it's hard. So how can you stay focused? Well, you can set reminders on your phone, mark things on your calendar, have a vision board. I've created a vision board, and have some affirmations. I have some affirmations that ChatGPT has helped me out with. And remember, at the end of every day, to think about your small wins. Part of my routine is to think of 3 small wins that I've had during the day. And that can be just that I've organized my desk again, or that I've signed up for a class, or that I have a list of possible topics for my YouTube channel. These are all little wins and all things, steps that move you forward. So again, this is not my first reset that I've gone through, but each one has been different. And your reset will be different too. So I'm right where you are. I'm right here with you, figuring out the whole restart thing at this age, where I'm going to go, how I'm going to get there, what I'm going to do, and sometimes I just jump in with both feet. Have you had a life reset? Are you working on your own transformation right now? Is that why you came to this channel? I want you to remember you're not too old, too late, or too stuck to begin again. If you like this video, please press the thumbs up button down below and subscribe for more videos on real life, about transformation, about resetting with life after 50.